after an enthralling summer we have had here in India, it's time to shift the focus to the kingdom where they say the sun never sets. Hello and good evening everyone, I'm Gautam Sori and I welcome you all on SportsWiki. Well, I'm joined by Tahir Ibn Manzoor right now and we would be talking about the bilateral T20 series between Ireland and India, which will be played at the ground in Dublin. The first of the T20, the first of the two T20 would be played later today. Now, Tahir, if I start my questioning with you right now, this has to be a starting tour for them, a big tour for the Indian team. After these T20, India would be heading to England for the big tour. So do you think that they have got Arsenal with them right now to make sure that they are getting all the boxes right ahead of the England tour?
See, India is a top-notch team. We already seen them performing across formats. Like Virat Kohli has led from the front and while playing these two matches, so they would set up their ground, like how they have to acclimatize their conditions in the United Kingdom and then have the big series against England. So we have been all waiting for. So it would be an enticing game against a side which could just spring a surprise. We have already seen them performing well, but India won't show any complacency whatsoever in these two matches.
Well, definitely looking at the Indian team right now, they have found success in South Africa in the limited over series. They had won the one-day series as well and they won the T20s as well. So I think given the fact that they were dominant on the foreign soil in that tour, we can really hope the Virat Kohli-led Indian team to dominate Ireland on a small grounds in Dublin. Well, the first of the two T20s will be played later today in Dublin. I must tell you that this is the first time that both India and Ireland have been involved in an international T20 bilateral series. Before this, both these sides have faced each other only once in the T20 International World Cup in 2009 in England, where the Indian team under the tutelage of Mahendra Singh Dhoni went on to win the match by 8 wickets. Tahir, it seems like ages back when Ireland and India had faced off each other. Now, given the current situation, we have got more dominant players, we have got players who are more conditioned well into the T20 format. So do you think that we would be pressing the Ireland to the core to make sure that we are stamping our authority anyway in this match?
Yes, definitely. Like we already seen, Team India has been dominating. Like we have already seen them performing well and against South Africa in South Africa. So they have the capable players. Like their bowlers did well. We have already seen them, and batting. India being a batting powerhouse would play a crucial role in this series. Like if we talk about Ireland, they have the players there. If we pick Kevin O'Brien, who is a senior campaigner, and William Porterfield and Gary Wilson is leading the side, so they have their batting potential as well. But apart from that, they might struggle with their bowling department at their home. But looking at the Indian lineup, they would definitely they are definitely going to dominate this game.
Well, surely Tahir named a few players from the Ireland side. Gary Wilson, he says, would be leading the side, and Kevin O'Brien, well, who can forget the innings he played against England in the 2011 World Cup, and he inspired Ireland to beat their neighbours into the mega event, and it was a historic moment for them in the history of their small cricketing journey. And now, speaking of India, recently they had beaten Afghanistan in one of test match. Well, the match ended in 2 days' time. India, after batting a day and a quarter, well, went on to dismiss Afghanistan, and both of their innings within 2 sessions to make sure that they are getting the one-off test match into their kitty. Now, having talked about the momentum they have had and initially mentioned that it was the Indian Premier League where the Indian summer began. So I think having to know that many of the players who were part of the Indian Premier League are obviously the part of this Indian team who would be touring the United Kingdom. This tour will be starting today with Ireland. They would be facing Ireland in 2 T20 internationals, and after this they would be heading to England for 3 T20s, 3 one-days, and of course 5 test matches. Tahir, speaking of this young Ireland side, they have shown in the past that they have got potential with them. You named a few players. So do you think that can they upset the one of the best teams, one of the best limited overs team at their home ground and make sure that they are putting an even contest on the board?
See, this can happen. Like cricket is the game of glorious uncertainties. We have already witnessed that in the past. But like we have already seen their team, like their lineup, they are capable of putting big score on the board. We have already seen them scoring. Like they have beaten Pakistan in the past, so they are capable. But seeing the dominant India team like having Virat Kohli at the helm, who has been among runs, who has been marshalling his troops well, it would be difficult for a side like who's being led by Wilson, but we can't rule out that even like we have already seen India is going there. Virat Kohli has missed out the county seasons, like he would gone there and just would have wanted to acclimatize the conditions there, and apart from that India is definitely going to dominate this two-match series if we talk about in general and overall.
Well, Tahir says not in general, overall India is very likely to dominate Ireland, and perhaps he was thinking about dominating England side as well, who recently made history by clean sweeping Australia 5-0 at their home, and they would be high on confidence. Why not, after making 481 runs on the board? Who wouldn't be on high on confidence? Well, England side, they would be upbeat and animated to take on Virat Kohli led Indian team in a few days from now. Tahir, you mentioned about Virat Kohli recently, just to get to used to the conditions. He signed the contract with the side, but because of a neck injury he sustained during the IPL, he couldn't make it over there. How much damage do you think Virat Kohli would have endured by not making it to England, or by not playing in those conditions, just to make sure that he is putting the demons of past behind and putting up a better performance, well, 4 years later?
See, talking about his, like he couldn't make it to the county season, like we already seen him picking the neck injury after during the Indian Premier League. That might have been the blessing in disguise. He got a couple of weeks of the rest, so that he's fresh, like with the legs, so he can definitely put up skating shoes and then leave an impact. So if we talk about him in general, it would have definitely have been a dent for the Indian team had he not made it to the England tour. But as I said, it has been blessing in disguise for him to just recover well in time and give his best for the team. So looking forward, he is definitely going to be a man to watch out for.
Well, surely Virat Kohli, Tahir says, would be the man to watch out for. I must inform you all, it's been nearly 40 days. It was May 19 when Virat Kohli last played a cricket match, to be precise. So I think he is running out of match practice as of now. But Tahir really thinks that despite being such a huge name in the cricketing world, he would get used to the conditions quite early, and he would help Indian team dominate their authority on Ireland before they leave for the England tour later this week. Tahir, if I specifically talk about the lineup of the Indian team, we saw the 16-man squad which BCC announced for the Ireland series. Now, if you were to pick the 11, I know it is one of the very hard or very challenging things to do in cricket, but if you were to pick a dominant 11 or perhaps the best 11 on paper, who you can think that they will produce a better performance on the field, well, you've got to leave out 4 to 5 players, and that would be a very tough ask, given that all of these have been the match winners, have been the proven players, the credential is with them. If I ask you to pick a 11 for this series, Tahir, what would you name?
See, it's definitely a tough task, as you already mentioned, but apart from that, we have already seen every player has chipped in. Like if you talk about Indian Premier League recently in which we have already seen the players have contributed, from Umesh Yadav, who has been brilliant in the opening overs, and he might have just leaked runs in the final overs, but apart from that, he was brilliant. We have already seen Siddharth Cole for Sunrisers Hyderabad and Yuzvendra Chahal for RCB. So if we talk about playing 11, first of all, I would like to exclude 4 players out of them. That would be KL Rahul, because they have the settled openers there. He might be playing as an opener, but seeing at Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan himself, who has been experienced campaigners, and they have done well for the team India. So I think KL Rahul is going to miss in the lineup, and apart from him, Siddharth Cole would miss out, and Washington Sundar as well. So if I happen to pick 11, my 11, I would have gone with Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, and Virat Kohli himself as a captain, and then Suresh Raina, and after him I would have gone with Mahendra Singh Dhoni as well, who has been playing a splendid role for Chennai Super Kings recently, so that he is going to play a crucial role in these games. So apart from that, Manish Pandey is going to sit out, and with the bowlers I would go with Umesh Yadav, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, just with Bumrah, and these are my 11 to 15.
Well, Tahir, did you just drop KL Rahul from your 11?
See, there is a big reason, because he's no doubt he's a great talent for Team India. We already seen him playing for Kings 11 Punjab. He was splendid with the bat, but what I see him as that is like his best at as an opener. We already seen him playing with Chris Gayle, where he has dominated the bowlers early on in the tournament. So as I mentioned, Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma is going to open the innings, so I don't think there will be a place for him. Like if we talk about in the middle order lineup, we have already Suresh Raina, who could just play a crucial role for his side. So he has been there, like settled. He has the experience there. He has been playing there, and Mahendra Singh Dhoni as well. So I don't think so he would make it in the middle order lineup.
Well, it would be a very, very tough choice for the team management, for the selection committee, and of course for India captain Virat Kohli, who to pick, who to drop for this first of the two T20 international which will be played in Dublin today, and it will be played against the host Ireland. Well, Tahir has mentioned he would be leaving out 4 players, out of which the most prominent name is KL Rahul, the second highest run getter in this season of Indian Premier League. Tahir thinks that he fits best in the opening slot, and just to know that Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma are already on the board, and the wealth of experience they have on their back, I think KL Rahul might just have to wait for his turn to come. Number 3, he chooses Virat Kohli to walk down at 1 drop, and then he says the experienced campaigner in the T20 setup, which is Suresh Raina, who plays for Chennai Super Kings as well, he would be taking the number 4 slot. Mahendra Singh Dhoni, according to Tahir, should be batting at number 5th position. Why? Because, well, given his recent exploits in the Indian Premier League, well, you shouldn't be making Mahendra Singh Dhoni wait long on the benches just to get his services availed. And Hardik Pandya, and could be Manish Pandey, he thinks that he could just make it to the playing 11 as well. As far as bowlers are concerned, I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar would be there. Umesh Yadav, Tahir really thinks that he could just make it to the playing 11. Why? He took nearly 20 wickets in the Indian Premier League. He was quite lethal. He took around 4 to 5 wickets in the test match against Afghanistan as well. And if Tahir, I am wrong, if I didn't miss the chance to hear that Kuldeep Yadav, Yuzvendra Chahal would be the bowling pair in tonight's game.
So definitely they have left the impact. We already seen them playing a crucial role for Team India. Like they have replaced prominent faces, like if you talk about Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja, they have been playing a crucial role for Team India. But the way the youngsters have performed has been remarkable sign for Team India. Like the players have been coming in, they have been putting their hands up and delivering for the team. That has been somewhat exciting for the Team India so far.
Well, surely he says that the exciting prospect awaits for Team India, who will be facing of Ireland. First of the 2 T20s, as mentioned, would be the match will be taking place in a very short while from now. The toss will be taking place as well, and the team sheet would be out. Now, before we end up this discussion, Tahir, a couple of important questions. Well, many of the experts, many of the pundits have said and have thought that the Indian team should be taking these 2 international matches against Ireland as a stepping stone towards the England tour, which would be of high prominence as well. But do you think that Captain Virat Kohli would be easing out on his way to taking on Ireland, or would he be too animated or maybe too upbeat to make sure that he should get more of match practice, should get used to the conditions well in time before the England tour, and should also get runs under his belt?
See, he would be passionate as ever as he has been on the field. Like we already seen him gelling his unit as well, and apart from that, like marshalling his troops, scoring runs in the top here. So he has been there. So he won't, as a team, they won't show any complaints against a side which could just bring a surprise or so. But they would definitely give their best in these 2 matches to set it as a stepping stone for the England tour, which is crucial. Like they have 2 T20s to play in Ireland, and then they would move to England. They have to play their 3 ODIs, so that plays a crucial role for them for the build-up of Test series, which is all important for the Team India. And Virat Kohli himself, who has been struggling with the moving ball, so it would be important for him to deliver this time around for his team.
Well, surely it would be too important, too essential for Captain Kohli to make sure he's putting runs on the board. He's putting those demons of 2014 behind him, and he's making sure the tables are being turned this time around. He's getting runs, he's helping his team beat England in England. Well, it was the last in 2007 under the captaincy of Rahul Dravid, when the Indian team defeated England 1-0 in the Test series. And so we can hope that under the tutelage of Virat Kohli this time around, the numbers could get altered and obviously should fall in the favor of men in blue. Well, before we wrap up, a big question for you, Tahir, right now. Well, India seem to be the likely contender to win this match. against Ireland. But what would your be thoughts and how much expectations, pardon me, you have from this game?
See, it's the surprise has to be on the drier side as per the reports. But talking about Team India, Virat Kohli would like to chase down the target. We have already seen the, as I already mentioned, that they have the batting powerhouse. They could just chase down anything on this surface. Having seen the conditions in Ireland, they have been somewhat overcast there in the recent past. We have already witnessed that. But talking about this particular game, they would like to definitely have a go at Ireland, like home. They are playing as hosts, so it would be crucial for India. But apart from that, India are favourites and they are going to win this match unless and until anything surprise won't happen.
Well, Tahir says until and unless something surprising come their way, it would be Indian team who would likely be beating Ireland in the first of the two T20 international to be played between both these countries in Dublin. I would like to thank you, Tahir, for joining us for this coverage. Well, Indian team led by Virat Kohli, the toss would be happening in a very short while from now, and you all would get to see who are the playing 11 and who all made it to the playing 11, pardon me. And as Tahir says that he is expecting KL Rahul to sit on the bench. Would he be sitting? Would he be the part of the playing 11? Would Dinesh Karthik make it to the playing 11, the hero of the Midas Trophy 2018 final against Bangladesh? Well, you all be getting to see in a very short while from now. I would like to thank Tahir, and we would be up over the next coverage very much soon. For all the updates, log in into Sports VP and get all the cricket, sports and news across the world of sports. Until then, thank you for being with us.